cat!" I shout, crawling under the table awkwardly in my stupid dress.
Like what we do? Consider supporting the channel by becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the description below. And as always, please, enjoy the story.
Following behind my family, we entered the hotel's conference room where my dad's company shindig is taking place. The room is full of massive round tables and decorations hanging from the ceiling. It almost reminds me more of a wedding, not so much a company party. Trying my best to secretly hide behind Mom and Kerry, I couldn't help but feel envious of the countless suits worn by the other boys at the party. Watching them as I tried to conceal myself wearing this silly dress and heels made me feel somewhat uncomfortable in my own skin. That's not even mentioning the cat ears on Meow head. Meow was already desperate to leave. Dad instantly struts deeper into the room and greets another group of dull-looking men in suits. Mom hangs onto his arm and follows behind. She's clearly a bit of a pro at these events, but it leaves both Kerry and me alone, pretending to be each other and not really knowing how to act. "Psst, Liam," my sister whispers, beckoning me over to her. Trying to act natural, I nervously walk over to her in my heels. Standing beside her, she links her arm around mine to hold me steady. "Yeah," I reply in relief, leaning my weight into her and away from my heeled shoes. "What did Dad mean about acting more professional?" she slowly questions, conveying the room as we speak. "I know we've been to these before, but I've never had to pretend to be you." Pulling at the sash of my dress, I look up at Kerry and frown. "I wish this wasn't happening," I say quietly, running my fingers down the suit she's wearing. "But seeing as you're asking, Dad wants you to act like him. It's his idea of how a man should act." "What?" Kerry groans, pulling a sarcastic smile. "That sounds really boring." "I wouldn't question it," I answer, giving her a wry smile. "That's a point. Your handshake needs to be firm. Here, let me test you." I hold out my hand in front of Kerry to practice her handshake skills. She looks down and eventually wraps her sweaty fingers around mine. Shaking her hand with confidence, her hand goes limp and soft. I wince, knowing that Dad would be so upset at how soft and floppy her handshake is. "Not like that," I hiss, holding out my hand again for another shake. "You've got to really go for it. Pretend you hate the person and that you want to break their hand." "Are you serious?" she replies, puffing out her cheeks in frustration. "Something like this?" Kerry then proceeds to grab my hand and crush it with her vice-like grip. Never have I squeaked in pain so much. When did I get so feeble and small? "Yes, yes, 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 yes!" I cry in pain, trying to pull my hand away from her. "Oh, sorry," Kerry laughs, letting go. "Was that more like it then? Your cat ears have gone floppy. Is that a bad thing?" "I don't know, Kerry," I grumble, glaring at her as I rub my sore hand. "But yes, that was better." "Awesome!" Kerry grins in satisfaction, looking more confident. "So I just go around and try to break people's hands then?" I nod, agreeing with her notion, and hair falls in front of my eyes. "I like this," Kerry smiles as I swipe at the hair blocking my vision. Kerry then lets go of my arm and she turns to face me. Looking me up and down, she lets her shoulders sag and sighs. "I guess I better fill you in about being a girl at these things, huh?" she says with a gentle smile. I look down at the pink dress hanging from my body, and it only reminds me of how uncomfortable I feel. "If you wouldn't be so kind," I answer, feverishly rubbing my arm. I'm feeling so out of my comfort zone right now. Kerry turns and secretly points over at Mom. Looking over in Mom's direction, I see she's almost hanging from Dad as they chat with other groups. She's not usually like that. Why is she hanging off him like that? I ask, confused, narrowing my eyes as I continue to stare. See all these old and stuffy-looking men? Kerry explains, pointing them out secretly so we don't arouse suspicion. Yeah, I reply, remembering the last time we came to one of these and how boring the conversations are. They're all gonna want to talk business with you, by the way. You'll have to wing it with that. Kerry frowns and rolls her eyes. Well, anyways, she continues, pointing back at Mom, she's hanging off him like that because Dad needs to project a happy, married family man. We do all want him to get his promotion, right? So we have to help him project that. Yeah, I understand that, Kerry, I reply, giving her a puzzled expression. I don't get what you're telling me, though. Are you saying I should hang off Dad like that? Kerry covers her mouth and chuckles. No, silly, she giggles. I'm saying you must play to the typical family stereotype. As his daughter, you just need to act cute, pretty, sweet, and innocent. Like the sort of girl you'd want to marry one day. Really? I reply with a long sigh, flapping at one of my cat ears back up as it sags. That sounds just awful. I'm none of those things you just said. Placing a hand on her hip with a look of attitude, Kerry shakes her head at me. Are you searching for compliments or something? She asks, making it evident that she's looking me up and down. I don't think so, I bashfully reply. You know, I've been a little jealous of you since that cat transformed you, she admits, forcing a smile. Let me show you just how pretty you really are. Here, stand like this. I promise you'll look even cuter than you do now. Kerry then takes hold of both my hands and brings them together in front of me. Like this, she says, making me twist my arms as I hold my hands together in front of myself. I do as she asks, and it feels a little odd for me. I've always been told to stand to attention with my hands behind my back, not in front of me. So adorable! Kerry squeals, covering her mouth and stepping back from me. Now, all you have to do is stand tiptoe on one foot. Furrowing my brow, I do as she asks. I know I must have done it right because her smile quickly turns to a toothy grin. Perfect, she says, pleased, giving me a big thumbs up. You're a natural! Looking away from her now smug face, I wonder deeply if that's something to feel happy or sad about. Judging by my sister's reaction, I should be pleased. What now then? I ask, feeling obliged to stand how she'd directed me. Before Kerry can answer me, a waft of tuna floats over the airways and tickles my nose. Gently brushing at my nose with the back of my hand, I turn my attention to the table of food being brought out. Almost instinctively, I stroll over to the table at speed, sniffing the entire time. It doesn't take me long to find the tuna. It's so strange. I don't even really like fish. Psst! Liam! Kerry whispers as I lose her in the crowd. Where are you going? I don't even look back at her. I just gather up some of my dress and rush towards the delightful smell, almost running into the table on which the food is displayed. I sniff out the tuna salad. Having to fight the urge to push all the other food onto the floor, I stand over the tuna dish with a big smile. Purring with excitement, all I want is to bury my face in its sweet and savory saltiness. Stopping myself from slamming my face into a bowl of food like an animal, I feel something patting at my feet from under the table. I freeze and tense up for a moment as it feels sharp and soft simultaneously. Princess in the making, a tiny, soft but regal voice calls out from under the table. Eyes wide, I take a step back to look down at my feet. almost causing me to jump back in a blind panic, a cat poking its head out from under the table. I glared down at the ginger tomcat smiling directly at me. No way that cat just spoke to meow, I mumble in disbelief, rubbing my eyes. Oh, but I did, my darling girl, the ginger tomcat continues, now pulling a wide grin. Rubbing harder at my eyes, my mouth drops as my body responds with sheer terror. Did you just talk? I stutter, still fixated on the cat grinning at me. Is that so strange, darling girl? The cat answers, slinking under the tablecloth and out of sight. Not caring about all the people around me in the room, I swiftly get onto my hands and knees and quickly follow the cat under the table. No way is this odd cat getting away from me like the last one. Oi, cat! I shout, crawling under the table awkwardly in my stupid dress. Darling? The cat replies, sitting patiently with its tail wagging. Who are you calling darling? I hiss, getting up close enough to grab his stupid grinning face. Oh, yes, sorry, how rude, the cat answers with a long purr. I should be calling you Princess-to-be. Narrowing my eyes, I can't help but feel this ginger cat is trying to push my buttons. Am I going crazy? I ask impatiently. Why can I hear you talking? And why do you keep saying princess-to-be? Would be so very awkward if you couldn't understand your kin-to-be, the cat scoffs in reply, snuffing its nose. Kin? I sneer. I'm no cat. The ginger tomcat grins wider and purrs softly as it points a single paw at my ears. Darling, he replies ecstatically, that's just not true. Your transformation is coming on so very nicely. I grit my teeth. Did you do this to me? I growl angrily, acting more like a lion. The ginger tomcat looks away, then chuckles with a soft smile. No, he says with a straight face, stretching out his claws. I stare at the cat as it puffs out its furry chest. I wouldn't have gotten the wrong child, he continues smugly. Your sister was due to be the next princess of our kingdom, but we only get one shot, and you've luckily become quite lovely. What? I growl in response, wanting to get to my feet, but instantly regretting my decision as I slam my head to the underside of the table with an almighty thump. My sister? I ask bashfully, rubbing my sore head with embarrassment. Yes, darling, the cat laughs, clearly enjoying the mishap. But that doesn't matter now. We've got our new princess, and you share your sister's bloodline. So, no harm, no foul. Please stop saying princess, I gripe, glaring at the cat's stupid, smiling face. I'm a boy, you know. Your past is but a technicality at this point, the cat replies quickly, getting to its feet. We must now go and meet your prince-to-be. No way, I answer, folding my arms tight. I'm not going anywhere with the talking cat. Ah, how rude of me, the cat says bashfully, sitting once more. I'm Sir Lars Eden, and I'm your personal knight and protector. A knight? I reply, giving him a stupid look. You're a cat. Indeed, Lars says, standing once more as he quickly moves to stick his head out from under the table. Please, follow me.